guys. This is Can We Talk About It?
It's your
I'm
boy,
Margaret. Happy Black History Month.
I'm Yule.
This
intro gets weirder every time.
Now I'm doing both parts.
Okay, go for it.
No, it's your boy Yule. Anyway, happy Black History Month from us here at Can We Talk About It? At the end of this episode, we're going to tell you about a Black figure in history that I'm not gonna say that you don't know them, because, like, that's like self-righteous, right? If I'm like, you don't know this person, then you told me.
You discovered this person. That's the least Black history thing that I could possibly think of.
Yeah, my light ass, right? So, let me teach you all about something. No, but, so we're gonna do that at the end of the episode. For now, we're just gonna get right into the news. It was a big weekend. It was Super Bowl weekend.
Oh my God.
Super Bowl weekend.
What weekend?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe in those things.
Yeah. Does it even exist?
Yeah, it was just a weekend.
Yeah, nothing much happened.
I didn't do anything. I didn't watch anything.
Quite a lot happened.
Nothing important happened.
It was like, I'm not really into football. Like, I've never been into football. So, I also never really went hard on the whole, like, boycott, blah, 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 blah. Because I felt like it would be so, like, pumping myself up and, like, acting like I'm really doing big things. It wasn't hard for me to cut out football. In fact, I've been doing it all my life. So
actually, I feel like that's when people really go hard for causes, when they're like, oh, well, you should boycott this person or that person, when it's just really something they never were interested in.
Exactly.
Like, it's harder when you actually have, like, grown up in that culture or whatever. I used to watch football.
No, facts.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's over for that.
This is my thing. I feel like, I don't know how I feel necessarily about, and I feel like this also falls into, like, call-out culture and things like this. Like, of course you want to express your position on things, and you want to, like, kind of maybe encourage people to look into that position. But I feel like it's so hard to tell people, like, oh, I'm not doing this, and you shouldn't do this, and blah, blah, blah. It sounds weird, but football's really important to some people culturally,
Agreed.
And not even just, like, white-ass hillbillies in, like, fucking Kentucky or whatever,
Yeah,
like,
people grew up with it in their families and whatever. They were a football type of family, so
yeah,
it's easier said than done.
Right. And then the other thing, I try not to publicly announce, like stances I take too often in a way of, like, I'm doing this and I'm strong and firm on it. Like, for example, I haven't ordered off Amazon in months because I had decided personally that I didn't want to support Amazon. But what if one day I need some shit in 2 days? Then all of a sudden, I made a big old fuss. And look at me now, which is what's happening with a lot of celebrities. Papoose. We were talking beforehand about how every episode I mispronounced something. Last episode, it was
Dasani. No, Evian.
What did I say? Evian?
Evian.
Now y'all are gonna notice no one was calling me out on it, but now I called attention to it.
I let her live that time.
He did, and now I just did it. But I didn't mispronounce. I just said it with a lot of emphasis.
You said it right.
Papoose.
I was like, all right. I don't know why you're saying his name.
A powerful man who made a powerful statement. He called out a lot of celebrities on being hypocrites. He didn't call anyone out by name, but we could, guess who he was maybe referring to. It was quite a few people.
Who you think?
I mean, I'm not gonna suppose that he meant anyone specific, because a lot of people said that
Big boy.
Whoa,
all right.
Whoa, yeah. A lot of people said that they weren't gonna perform at the Super Bowl though, and they didn't, right? Mm-hmm. But then they did other things. You had, like, Cardi and Meek dancing on stage with Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. They were actually, I think, at a fundraiser for this, like, group alliance that they also have with Jay-Z that Kraft has contributed to.
Yeah, the reform.
Which is for prison reform. And, like, okay, like, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But Kraft is also a huge Trump supporter, has a very close relationship with the president, made donations to his campaign, and something like a charity, that's just a tax write-off. Like, the amount of money that someone like Robert Kraft is making, like, it's no thing for him to throw a little money, kind of like,
in one of his many charities that he gives. He owns the Patriots.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not that
this man has money, old money.
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm not gonna say
could buy all of these artists kind of money.
Right. And then you're like, okay, but are we really gonna like shit on them? Like, were people not supposed to go to Super Bowl parties? Were they not supposed to be in commercials? You know, did they even know those commercials would necessarily air during the Super Bowl? But then it's like, don't come out so strongly against it. And really, it's like, they don't get paid to perform the halftime show. So it's not really like you're sacrificing money. You're sacrificing exposure, but a lot of these people don't need exposure. Except, I guess, Maroon 5. I mean, like, honestly, I hadn't thought about Maroon 5 in a minute, so.
Honestly, I've said Maroon 5 more this week than I've ever said it.
That is
in
so
life.
True.
So, I guess.
You'll learn that Adam Levine was tatted up.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Adam Levine is like.
Glanced at the halftime show, and I was like, oh, he has arms. Like, I didn't even know, like, that.
He didn't know
I didn't know
Levine
anything
had arms.
really about him.
Yeah. Adam Levine is a bird-chested little slut, though. Like, his shit was mad dull, and he just goes and takes off that ugly curtain shirt. And
his checkerboard shirt underneath.
Yeah,
oh my God.
And just, after changing into an AT-Aliens jacket so that he could accompany Big Boy.
I don't know how one man had, like, 5 wardrobe changes in, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, it was the only thing that his halftime show had in common with a Beyonce performance.
Literally the only thing.
Yeah.
And that there was some singing, if you want to call it that.
And some dancing.
Oh my God.
And some dancing he got
some
down with Travis Kardashian.
Oh my God.
Yule's really torn up about that. That was his boy.
Yo.
Tell them how you knew. Tell them how you knew that you had lost Travis officially.
Oh yeah, because he came through, and as soon as the performance started, I don't know about y'all, everybody was like so focused on the SpongeBob beginning, but the first thing I really saw when I saw Travis Scott is that his hat was dusty, like
no
it didn't have any shape to it. It looked
man
like
rock a hat like that.
Like his brim wasn't like intact, like it had lines, and like it looked beat up. It looked like he'd been wearing that hat for the whole. What is it, Sicko Mode tour or whatever the hell, like for all of Astroworld, this man has been wearing that hat. That's what it looked like. And I was just like, damn, he white.
It was sad. But what do you think? Like, do you think that like these celebrities can still do something like speak up for, the cause that Kaepernick was taking this stance for, but then still be involved in Super Bowl activities? Does it matter if you say, because at the same time, I thought about it and I was like, but I'm glad that so many people turned down the halftime show, because I think at the time that was, that was a message, and that, but then if that message is hypocritical or, you're not really
I feel like
living up to that.
The message still stands as what it is. I feel like if people become hypocritical about the message or misread the message or misguide the message, that still doesn't mean the message is any different from what it always has been.
Yeah.
Like I said, people because so much time has passed, people just been like, it's all right now. I haven't watched football all season. I could just watch the Super Bowl. Or people, get fickle about certain things. I think, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't.
It's tough. I don't
like,
think
for someone like Big Boy, right? If he speaks up on race relations, I'm not going to be like, yeah, but you performed at the Super Bowl. Like,
right. You can't.
I can't diminish his blackness for it.
No, facts. And people are nuanced, like, and not everybody's a perfect activist.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I felt what Pap was saying. Like, I felt disappointment in certain people. But at the same time, I don't discount everything they've said in the past. I just know that people aren't perfect, and they don't always stick to what they say,
Agreed.
But speaking of our girl Cardi, who had her Pepsi commercial, which I don't really fault her for, because we had, like, Christine actually of Off the Pages was telling us that's a kind of campaign that they would be planning like a year in advance, and she wouldn't necessarily have known that it would air during the Super Bowl. I don't know about that.
I actually had this whole discussion. I'm not sure if the NFL makes money off of the Super Bowl commercials, because in no other way or in no other like platform does that work. Like, let's say I had a show on HBO. While my show is airing on HBO, do I get ad revenue from those commercials?
I don't know.
I think, isn't that just the network?
The network, but then the network, I don't know if the network is paid to air the Super Bowl, or if the network has to buy rights to the Super Bowl, so therefore the network's money goes to the NFL. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, we gonna leave this one alone because we did. This was a question you could tell we came up with on the fly and did not look into whatsoever. So Google that, y'all. Let us know.
Let us know, please. Somebody drop some knowledge on how that works, and if Cardi did actually get an NFL
facts. Paycheck. But on the topic of Cardi and her activism, she did come out against, this is like, I'm not even trying to be funny. You know, everyone mispronounces her name. I was like, Tomi Lahren? Don't make me do this.
I just wanted to see how many different ways.
Tomi Lahren?
You know what? The funniest part is her name doesn't matter. Y'all know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So Cardi and Nicki both went after Tomi.
Yes.
Whatever. Because she tweeted out a tweet mocking 21 Savage's deportation to England.
Oh my God.
We're gonna get into that.
That's a lot to unpack. Yeah. So, oh my God.
I was like, that's a joke, because what are y'all talking about? You said that he felt like all of a sudden he could hear his British accent.
I can't hear it?
No, you.
Like.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's
6, 7, 8 euros in my thing. Like, no.
They don't use euros. You ignorant slut. Anyway.
I got it from a meme. Damn, the internet has failed me.
Yeah, what do you know? The internet's not always right. But yeah, so Nicki and Cardi, I said the internet's always right, but it got... Now you're not gonna let anything go. Damn. All right. Nicki and Cardi teamed up to kind of take her to task over the comments that she had made mocking his deportation. And I was saying to you, though I love to see them team up, and of course we love to see anybody, fucking shitting on Tomi. This woman don't have a job right now. I want to be clear. She's unemployed.
She might be homeless.
We don't even know. She even spoke about it. She was using her parents' health insurance, and I don't know if that's run out now. You don't remember that where she was like shitting on Obamacare, and then she was like, they were like, "How do you have insurance?" And she was like, "Through my parents," which is Obamacare.
Yeah.
I feel like
Tomi
she probably
Lahren
aged out of it, though.
She's just a millennial. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing.
No,
like,
that's facts.
Being a raised Republican, I feel like she just doesn't even mean what she says anymore. She's just an internet troll. That's pretty much how she's made all her money in her lifestyle. So at this point, she doesn't care what comes out of her mouth. She just needs a rise out of people. And that's what we're getting at.
Yes. Even the fact that we're talking about her right now, I mean, she's probably getting so much publicity off of us.
I know, right?
We're so famous.
Damn.
Using our platform for evil. No, but that's what we were talking about earlier. Should we be responding to Tomi? Even if it's funny, even if we love to see people clap back at her, like, this bitch don't have a platform right now. Her platform is Twitter. And the reason that her base even is attracted to her is because she's able to get a rise out of people.
Yeah.
So
agreed, and just pretty much giving her fuel for her fire.
Exactly. And we were saying, like, every time we've heard about her recently has been like her having these big interactions with, like a Cardi, a Nicki, Wale, whatever.
Which is probably gonna land her a new job, and we're gonna see her face much more often than we want to.
Because she has not had a job for months. It's not like you're seeing those obnoxious ass clips of her on her dumb show anymore, because she don't have one. Like,
you know what the weirdest part is? That's what happens with a lot of negative things. There are things that we don't want in life. Like, think about R. Kelly. Like, people were just like, oh yeah, R. Kelly's this and that, and then his streams go up by however many, or like he gets this ridiculous spike because he's a trending topic. Like, all these people that become trending topics just gain more popularity, more money.
Right.
And it's almost accidental. Like, people go looking up R. Kelly songs, and then he gets money off of streams.
Facts.
People go looking up Tomi Lahren, like, who's this now? And then she gets some more media attention.
Lahren.
Yeah, that's how you say it. And yeah,
she's basically, I think, living like an influencer now. She probably is even having like, I don't know, like, I feel like it would be media we don't follow, like, I don't know, some like fuck your cousin's dating site or some shit where she's probably like a major influencer. Wow. So we just don't know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, hillbilly news. Damn.
Give a gun as a wedding present. Well, you marry your second cousin Mark. Mark wasn't a good enough name, but I could have brainstormed it.
Mark Lahren?
Mark Lahren.
Mark Lahren sounds
Tomi
like...
and Tomi.
Wow. None of them have to change their name. Imagine dating someone with the same first and last name. Damn, Tommy, you fucked up. Don't do that. Anyways.
Circling back to 21, he was deported.
A lot.
To London.
A lot.
Not to London, to England, where he was apparently born.
Who knew this?
I feel like the government should have been known this because he has been to prison. So
there's so many things that bother me about this, right? Firstly, this man has kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his kids were born here. Whatever, he has American children.
Yeah.
Firstly, he was born there. He's never said anything about being born there.
Yeah.
And he's been successful for many years now.
Yeah.
Has he not done taxes? This man has been on so many media sources, so many places, booked flights, flown back and forth.
What's his passport? Yeah, like, and I'm like, also, like, why did no one on your team tell you to take care of this? I feel like this could have been such an easy fix. Like, you're a celebrity. He could have gotten an entertainment visa. He could have, whatever, got Justin Bieber's little skinny ass into the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird.
There's so many things that don't make sense about the situation, to be honest.
One thing that does make sense are those memes, If you could count on Americans for one thing, is that we gonna be ignorant about British people.
Oh my God.
Americans think British people are so hilarious. Because we are so... And I'm going to say it. I do too.
Son.
Cheerio, governor!
When they changed his album cover from Issa to In It, bruh, I cried. He said he got shooters wearing all red. It was dudes with like muskets. And,
facts.
Oh my God. It's so great.
The shit about the Queen. But look, this is the thing. We all laugh at these memes, right? It's not funny that he got deported, and it's so fucked up that it coincides with him doing a lot of really great things for the community. Y'all didn't deport him when he was a criminal.
Yo,
but,
that's another topic. Oh my God.
Facts, that's a lot.
He's
but
like, guns, government. Yeah. Get your pockets right and go to school, maybe. You're like, no.
Giving money to...
No.
Yeah, nah, get out of
Go
here.
back to... Aren't you from the UK?
Anyway, but the one person who is not allowed to laugh at these memes, apparently, Demi Lovaaaanndd.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, because I know you have a lot of thoughts on this.
Demi, oh my God. Demi, firstly, it's a snowflake. Like,
she's very sensitive.
She is very sensitive when it comes to her, and like, she's been pretty much on and off of Twitter many times because people have said things or been mean about her addiction, and honestly, I understand that people are mean, and if you have these kind of problems, you don't want people to make fun of that or make light of your situation, right? But there's two things that bother me about that. Firstly, you're a celebrity.
I was going to say, maybe then you shouldn't be in the spotlight. Not even in a mean way, like, oh, if you can't take it, but like really for your own good, maybe you don't want to be so in the spotlight. It's like how some people can't be on social media. Like,
they're gonna talk about you.
Yeah.
Literally, being a celebrity is knowing that the smallest misstep means that you're gonna be a meme, you're gonna go viral, people are gonna talk about you, people are gonna talk shit about you. And you know what the messed up part is? Even if you don't misstep, people are still gonna do all of those things.
Facts.
Right? So her being someone that has been, beat down and, pretty much harassed by people on Twitter and on the internet, right, and felt some type of way about it, is now going to do the same thing to someone else.
Right.
So I personally have zero sympathy for Demi Lovato.
I don't really feel bad for her either. Like, I feel like people were maybe, like, wild harsh, and I don't think I would have made those comments towards her myself, but I'm not like, oh, poor Demi,
Yeah.
And she was real quick to play the victim, as white adjacent women do. I would know.
Yeah, she was just like, screw you guys, I'm going home, and immediately deactivated her Twitter because she made a statement that had a whole bunch of typos in it, and then just kind of ran away. It was just like, screw it, like, I don't have to deal with the internet.
Yeah, it's like, in a situation like that, I feel like you make an apology and then you're accountable,
Yeah. Yeah, but it's kind of fucked up that the rest of us got to laugh and she didn't.
No, it is, because those memes were funny.
It was funny as shit.
It was funny. But you know who else kind of put their foot in their mouth this past weekend? And it was a fellow citizen of the UK, like 21
Another
Savage.
one of them?
No.
There's some more? Who was it?
Liam Neeson.
The dude from Taken?
Yeah, who I liked. I liked Liam Neeson.
You know what? Same.
It was disappointing.
This is a painful L. Prior to this, I think he may have been on the list of like white people you thought might get a black card or be invited to the cookout or whatever people say about.
Yeah.
Clearly that is no longer an option.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson is blacklisted.
From the black.
That's what we're gonna say. For people that are now canceled, or they're now blacklisted.
Because what we found out, actually this morning, right? That came out this morning.
Yeah.
Was that Liam Neeson once contemplated killing a random black person because of a crime committed by another unrelated black person.
I don't even think it specifically said that person was black either.
I think, well, okay, so basically what happened was he had been abroad, he returned home, and a female friend of his had been raped. And she said she didn't know her assailant, but I think she said that the assailant was, I don't know if she said black or a person of color.
Yeah.
But regardless, Liam Neeson then went about carrying a weapon on him. He said he used some word, and I was like, this is some British ass shit, because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Is this not the exact plot of Taken? Like,
well, that was the thing. I think in the interview they were asked. Well, I think the difference was in Taken, he went after the people who had actually kidnapped his family members. In this,
it started
version
with, I don't know who you are. That's like the first line. So similarly to Taken, he did not know he was looking for it,
but he stopped there.
But he had a particular set of skills that he knows that if he would find them, he would kill them. Pretty much. Let's just
them
sum it
being
up
a random black person.
Yeah,
he essentially said he was walking around with a weapon for like a week, hoping that some, in quotes, black bastard would, like, I don't know, bump into him or something, so he could just waste
This man definitely replaced black bastard with the N-word. Like, he definitely said the N-word.
Yeah,
100% chance. 100%
yeah.
chance.
No, in his head he censored himself and he said black bastard.
yeah, exactly. That's what happened. He realized he was on camera and was like, let me just lighten this a little bit. Black bastard. The other part about this is that Liam Neeson, like, like I said, he's literally playing that character in that movie, right?
Yeah. So
he goes out, he's trying to find someone, but why would you say this out loud on camera? Like, it was so weird. It was unprompted. Like, the reporter asked him something like that was unrelated to race relations.
He wasn't being asked, like, how he drew inspiration for playing a character, like, looking for revenge. Did I make that up? Even if that was the case, though, I feel like you could just...
Well, one time.
Yeah, but if that was the case, right? That's, like, such a cliche question. I'm sure that that's something that you've answered as an actor before. And why not just say, you know, one time a close friend of mine was assaulted and, you know, I had thoughts of, you know, getting revenge for her.
So he really wanted to get that off his chest.
He was like, I wanted to kill a black guy. Any black guy, I just want to kill him. No, he's Irish.
He's been thinking about this shit for so long. He's been thinking about it for so long.
The Lucky Charm was like, gonna...
When can I
confess?
Kill
a black man. I'm gonna stop doing accents, I promise.
Yes, please don't.
All right. Well,
first off, people from the UK sound like they're from Atlanta, so you should know that by now.
It's facts. It's facts.
Same thing.
All right. Well, that's our celebrity roundup for the week.
Yep.
This past week that passed, last week in New York City, we were in a polar vortex. Not just the Chicago too. I'm sure y'all saw all the pictures of crazy ass white people going outside, throwing water in there and letting it freeze. I was like, white people, go inside. Go inside.
Look,
y'all
it's
gonna
hot
catch
water.
cold.
It's hot water.
Yeah, I get it. It's brick. Go inside, y'all. Anyway, do you notice that? It was only white people I saw doing that kind of shit.
Yeah. Did you see the one where the dude threw it and then slipped immediately?
No.
The best one. That was the best one.
I gotta look it up. But here in New York, it wasn't that cold, but it did dip into single digits.
It wasn't that cold?
No, it wasn't as cold as in Chicago where it was like -40 or something.
Okay.
No, it was fucking brick. It was brick as fuck. You was like, her white side's coming out. She thought it wasn't that cold. No, I thought it was cold as fuck. I didn't leave my home.
I remember when it said -14, or feels like -14.
Yeah.
I was like, feels like I'm not going to work today. Shit was not cool.
No. Or was it very cool? Oh, it was cold! Oh, yeah, shit was Brick City. And a detention center in Brooklyn, Metropolitan Detention Center, was without heat, water, like basically everything you would want to have in your living space if you were in, sub-degree weather. And unfortunately, despite activists going there to, help the prisoners out, and it was super heartbreaking. Like they had a lot of videos of them like banging on the windows just like en masse to, send a message to the outside, get attention. And it did attract like a lot of activists. Unfortunately, they didn't get the heat back on until yesterday. And it was like 56 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of actually not that bad out. Like today, tomorrow's going to be kind of nice. And it's like,
yeah.
Why did it take that long? Like,
why did it take that long?
Why haven't you taken those prisoners and moved them to another detention center? Like, there's so
many
solutions.
We have them throughout the city. Yeah. Like,
can you imagine just being that cold in the comfort of your own home? Let's just say your heat went out, but you still have all your resources around you. It would still be bad. Heat in a polar vortex. These people are literally in cages. It's like surrounded by metal bars. Like, it's cold. Like people were literally dying outside. Yeah,
and people who were in prison who had like certain sicknesses, like completely exacerbated by the lack of power. It's just like, it's so sad. And the thing that I kind of think about with situations like this, everyone like was paying attention at this moment, but shit like this happens all the time. And the thing is, just because we fixed this one problem now a little too late, what happens next? Like, what are the next steps that we take to make sure this doesn't happen again? And why did this happen in the first place? And who's responsible? And I know, so there's a petition going around right now to remove the warden, this guy, Herman Quay, which I think is good, but then you want to make sure they don't replace him with somebody who's similar, because unfortunately, or worse, a lot of people who work in law enforcement have this very callous attitude towards prisoners. And, that's a very complex relationship. Obviously, it's like hostility on both sides and whatever. But, at the end of the day, like, you are responsible for these people. You are responsible for their well-being. The government is responsible for their well-being. So, like, personal feelings aside, these are the kind of things you got to take care of. It's very wishful thinking to say, oh, I want a warden in there who, like, really cares about rehabilitating these men, which is what I would want. But if I'm being a realist, all I would ask for is somebody who deadass just cares about making sure that they're alive.
Exactly. Like, just treat them like people. Like, we all know the most messed up things I saw were people on like Twitter and other social media just being like, well, they're prisoners anyway, or like, they do the crime, you do the time.
No facts.
It's like, come on. Firstly, we already know what this justice system is like. People go in there for reasons. Like, that for like jaywalking, like,
this is a detention center. Like, this isn't like Rikers or anything. Even if it was Rikers, who cares? Like, people are people. But it's a detention center. People sometimes just go in there like waiting on bail. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, exactly.
Like, so you do this minimal crime, or don't even do this minimal crime. You haven't even seen your your
haven't gone
case hasn't gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just sitting there suffering for what?
Yeah.
For what? Like, treat people like humans. Like, it doesn't matter where they are, in jail, outside. Like, come on. It's just unfair.
And so what I would like encourage everybody to do, what I'm doing personally, if there are certain politicians or certain like activist groups that you saw who were very involved in organizing around like this particular this particular incident, follow up with them and see what next steps you have to take once the fanfare and like all the media attention has died down.
Yeah, because we know how that goes. Like, people care about something for a little while, and then it's just like,
oh, okay, it's cool now. Like, that happens with a lot of things. Continue to pay attention, because this stuff, as Khalif Browder said, happens every day. So, all right. So we get to Black History Month. Here's someone that you may not know. Maybe you do.
May or may not.
Yeah. Claudette Colvin, who was a 15-year-old girl who refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white woman 9 months before Rosa Parks.
So,
yeah.
The first Rosa Parks.
The first Rosa Parks. And what was really cool about Claudette's story, Rosa Parks completely, like, you know, obviously we love and respect Rosa Parks, and she's
a fraud. No.
She's a faker. This is on another total side note. Don't let them sanitize the legacy of a lot of these people that we were taught about in school. Rosa Parks was not just some, like, you know, mother, like, coming home from work tired who just didn't want to get up. She was an activist. She was an NAACP. Yep.
NAACP.
Secretary. And she was well versed in, you know, nonviolent protests, and, you know, she did something deliberate. This wasn't just, I'm tired and, you know, like, I'm just a human being. Yeah. She was an activist, you know.
She stood up for it. She wanted to do what she did.
They did this for the cause, and she was a good figure for it. Unfortunately, Claudette Colvin wasn't. She was a teenager. A year after this happened to her, she got pregnant. That doesn't take away anything from what she did. Unfortunately, they just knew that she wasn't going to be as good of a symbol for the cause. But she was the one that kickstarted it all, and she deserves that recognition. And she's still alive today. She lives in the Bronx, actually.
Oh, yeah, BX stand up.
Yeah.
It's the first and last time we're giving the Bronx any credit on this show.
That's it. Yeah,
that was it.
I hope y'all enjoyed it. And it's from somebody who's originally
it.
From Montgomery, Alabama. It's not even y'all. It's not even y'all homegrown ones.
Dusty.
But, yeah. She lives up there, so, you know, she's an honorary New Yorker. That's also something I would never say about any other transplant. So, you know, let's give her dues. Let's shout her out this Black History Month. You know, learn her story as well as you would learn anybody else's. All right.
That's the show?
Yep.
All
right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye. I'm Margaret. I'm Yule. This was Can We Talk About It?
Yo, why you just stealing my butt? Like, I trusted you.